Welcome one, welcome all. It's all eyes on the heart of Texas tonight. The Cotton Bowl offers its fabled backdrop in the Gainbridge Super League. It's Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity engaged and ready for the run-in, both perched above the playoff line. Howdy folks, with Renee Washington, I'm Peyton Geller, and both these teams leading the pack at the top of the standings. Lexington and Dallas, as mentioned, above that orange stripe and in the playoff picture.
With the playoff push on, this has massive standings implications in this matchup. The only change across the league with Carolina Ascent FC's win behind Tyler Lucy's game winner, they jumped Dallas Trinity FC into that number 3 spot. But this 2-4 matchup, a massive one, especially since they played just 10 days ago.
Lexington trying to find some stability, having been leapfrogged by Sporting Jackson, having been unbeaten for a long time, but back-to-back losses to them, most recently to Dallas Trinity at home. It would be Heather Stainbrook in the 93rd minute against the run of play, getting the result for Dallas, and Lexington with much to prove here in this one.
Lexington outshot Dallas 14-5 in this game, but Dallas Trinity was more clinical, and we saw that in this Heather Stainbrook goal in the stoppage time game winner. The excitement much needed because this was a thrilling down-to-the-wire match of two top teams.
Stainbrook was a mid-season addition, as was Bethany Boss, certainly turning the voltage up in the attack. Boss got her first goal with the club last time out, equalizing late against DC Power.
And since signing back in February, she's been a massive addition, especially with that playoff push. She's a true goal scorer, headed home the game-tying goal in their last match versus DC Power. The team now has 9 head ball goals this season, leading the league, and she's already making an impact, brings pace, brings direct attacking presence, and is someone that's going to help them tremendously as they're looking to reign unbeaten in 9 of their last 10 games tonight.
On the opposite side of the line, leading the line, will be Kat Berry, Lexington's number 9. She's been a little bit up and down in terms of the production. They will look to her to find the back of the net. They are to get all 3 points here on the road. Also
a strong aerial presence with her 9 goals, 2 assists. Not only leads the team, but also second across the league in scoring. But with this 2-game scoreless drought and losses, Lexington needs to get back in the score column. And Catherine Berry hasn't scored since January 31st. Someone that holds balls up, facilitates, and really can help be that dangerous threat they need. So she's the engine behind getting this offense started.
Two of the division's foremost frontrunners, Lockhorns, when we return here in Texas. Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity. That's all for you on the other side of a break. Kickoff coming up.
Nice shot. Let's play.
Dallas Trinity FC is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA+.
All the energy in action. Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA+.
Join us every match,
every moment.
We'll see you on the pitch.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, graded assists. Gainbridge, graded assists for your savings.
Closing in on kickoff between Dallas Trinity FC and Lexington SC. A clash at the top of the table in the Gainbridge Super League. Looking at the lineups, first for Dallas Trinity. Starting lineups here tonight are presented by Scottish Rite for Children. Every child deserves the best start and a strong finish in life and in sports. And as the official pediatric partner of the Dallas Trinity FC, Scottish Rite for Children is here to make that happen with world-class pediatric and sports medicine care. And this is the group to start things for Dallas today. Importantly, it's a big debut for Caroline Swan in the middle, her first start for the club.
Yes, and Dallas making a couple of other changes. Maya McCutcheon, Celie Strawn, and Chioma Gagu as well, also that are not going to be in the starting lineup. And today, instead, Cameron Lancaster starts up top, Winnie Bellata in the midfield, along with Swan. And then Tyler McCamey anchors the back line in net with Captain Amber Wisner, who's played every minute possible with Dallas, starting on the back line for them.
You're plenty familiar with her, and we will get into that throughout the course of the game. But for Lexington, it is a 4-3-3. They will look to jam things up in the middle of the park and then extend and apply pressure with the press.
And for Lexington, the same starting 11 as last game. And something to note, they made 3 changes 10 days ago in their lineup versus Dallas. That remains the same tonight. That's the addition of a pair of their newcomers in Allie Brown on the back line and Daria Raji. And then also Sarah Griffith gets her second consecutive start at forward. But Kate Asman in net, one of 5 players that have started every game this season for Lexington, getting the green light to start again tonight.
She has been excellent between the sticks. It is Amina Ekic from the bench to start here today as she comes back in from international duty. Tonight's match at the Cotton Bowl is themed as Pups at the Pitch Night, dog-friendly match day where fans are encouraged to bring their dogs along to the game. The fan zone features local pet-related vendors. Halftime will include a stunt dog performance by Star Dog Entertainment, creating a unique atmosphere with plenty of 4-legged fans in the crowd. I'm not going to make the joke about having that extra little bit of dog, but you get the gist. And Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity certainly will be looking for that extra edge in a match that matters much between two teams that have, from the outset this year, been setting the tone in the division. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Trinity FC. For Dallas, pretty patched up at this all-important part of the year, coming back off the midseason break. Lexington dealing with a couple knocks throughout the squad.
Yeah, and very encouraging for Dallas Trinity to have 0 reported injuries. That's exactly what you want to see, but as you see on your screen, 3 for Lexington that they're dealing with, and that's kind of expected this time of year as they're going to be without a couple of tough players. I mean, you look at Fung and Win and what they bring to this group, but this is that next player up mentality. Both these teams have depth, a lot of strong pieces, and this is the time of year when you have to see those playmakers really show up in what's really essentially must-win games at this stretch.
You said it. It's time for the run-in. These teams trying to set the temperature for what their final phase of the season will look like. Do that hard work to poise yourself in the best possible place for the postseason. Lexington trying to get there for the first time after a disappointing first year in the league. Dallas Trinity trying to take that next step and reach the final round, play for a trophy at the end of this thing. Lexington, first 2 losses of the season coming in quick succession to Sporting Jacks and then most recently to Dallas Trinity. They have had 10 days off to think about that, stew on that, prepare for this game, a makeup of a previously rescheduled fixture that is now in motion from the Cotton Bowl. Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity once more with Renee Washington. I am Peyton Gallagher. This one will be a dandy on hand tonight.
Yeah, I anticipate this game really having the makings of what we anticipate for the postseason. It's 2 teams, as we talked about in the standings and the pregame, top of the league, but also just some of the top playmakers when you look at production and reliability and just prowess in this league. And so it's on display tonight, a nice midweek matchup. And this is where you get a chance to see it play out between the lines with some of those changes.
Rolling centrally, Dallas on the front foot. Pressed wide. Looking for an angle of Stainbrook. She scored the winner in Kentucky, 93rd minute. Cross in from deep. Some defending to do for Lexington. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the division all year. They are able to clear their lines, start to build out from the back.
And I anticipate high pressure, especially early on from Dallas Trinity. This is a group that's really surging right now, refining and changing a lot of ways they're playing, looking to high press and wanting to make sure that it starts with their forward line of bringing the pressure, forcing mistakes and turnovers.
Mackenzie Weiner couldn't lay claim. Driving away from the midfield, it's Cameron Lancaster. Both these coaches brought in midstream. Kosuke Kimura, a little bit of a different situation as he was already on staff. Mac Hemi was the manager at the start of the year. Took the job on the men's side in the USL Championship, leading to a promotion, but Nathan Thackeray taking over after a long time with North Carolina Courage as an assistant. And a short stint as a caretaker manager last year, trying to set what his principles will be with this ambitious Dallas project. Said he felt like they were making good progress, but were mindful maybe not to take massive steps in the early going and build things slowly with the principles that they want to play with.
Yeah, and the key that we got from both coaches is, when you look at their teams, not only do they have new head coaches that came on the same day, January 31st, but they also have a lot of new pieces. And these are massive game-changing pieces, which is not an easy plug-and-play. People often think in sports, you add talent in and automatically raise the level, but you have to have the cohesion, learning each other's tendencies, being on the same page, building that chemistry. And so even from 10 days ago to today, this matchup should look significantly different because that's 10 extra days of practice, reps, getting to know each other, and developing those phases of what the coaches are building.
It was something Nathan Thackeray spotlighted in this game. He said that they were going to take a different approach. Right now that approach not working, the press working for the moment for Lexington. The idea here today, though, for Dallas Trinity will be that they will feature dual 10s operating in both pockets, that dueling banjo, if you will. Likely to see Lexi Misimo a little bit deeper.
And I think that's the right idea. I mean, you just played each other 10 days ago, so, there's a lot of familiarity there. And so you want to make some fine-tuning in terms of ways you can better execute, getting your possession better, creating more goal-scoring chances. But also, this is that time with those new faces to tinker a bit because you want to, as you are finishing out the regular season, make sure you're going into the postseason with a better understanding of what's your best 11, what's your best formation, and how you can best win games.
They have plenty of time to bond en route to Kentucky ahead of that fixture. About a 6-hour delay in the Dallas airport. Coach Thackeray felt like it was hugely valuable time for them. He was really happy with how the group was able to spend time together and enjoy each other's company. They ended up getting into Kentucky at about 3 a.m. Lexington pressed hard, made it very uncomfortable throughout the course of that game, and Dallas were able to weather the storm and get all 3 points.
And even much different circumstances in that regard into how both of these teams are able to come into today. Of course, we talk about, the turnaround for Dallas. They did have a game in between, whereas Lexington, it's back-to-back games versus the same opponent.
It will be a quick turnaround for Lexington as they will head home to see Fort Lauderdale at the weekend. One of those new faces clearing the lines there, Tyler McCamey. Been an excellent add between the posts. 5 saves for her last time out against DC Power. That 1-1 draw.
And I feel very old because I've had a chance to watch Tyler McCamey grow up doing Princeton University broadcasts. I'll get back to that point in a moment.
Layered down the far flank in for Boss. Doesn't get the full bite at the apple. Poked away, and Lexington looked to break. A couple of hiccups in the build-up phase so far throughout the game. Dallas conjuring the best chance so far 5 minutes in.
Yeah, that's very similar to actually the opportunity that Heather Steinberg was able to score against Lexington. Just being able to get end line, drive the service across the box, but also more importantly, getting numbers into the box. Dallas did a good job there of getting players into different waves, near post, central, far post, just weren't able to finish that chance to at least get a shot out of it.
Bethany Boss not going to miss any opportunities like that. 6 seasons for her in the NWSL, compiled 33 goals across that time, 115 appearances for Seattle Reign, racing Louisville. Got that first goal to her account with Dallas Trinity last time against DC Power. Once she finds the shooting boots, should add that clinical edge that Dallas had maybe been missing a little bit in the attacking ends.
That's key, especially for Dallas. As Nathan Thackeray mentioned to us, they're still building a lot of their identity. They're still looking to implement their system. So to have the pieces come in as you're building is right on time for everything they're looking to do to take a massive step and it feels like the pieces are coming together for how they want to play consistently.
Well, if last season's any evidence, it goes without saying that how you finish is much more important than how you start. Nobody would have predicted that Fort Lauderdale or Tampa Bay Sun would be the two teams that were engaged for that final, but also at the bottom of the table this year. Things can change quickly. Lexington showed that big ambition, bolstering the roster in the offseason, started unbeaten, maybe stumbling a little bit in this little portion of the year, the bridge, if you will. Only 2 wins for them in their last 5 matches.
I think that speaks to the competitiveness of the league, that there aren't clear favorites. You can look at it change from season to season, or even within this season that has a massive swing in terms of standings. But as we see Tyler McCamey in her orange, as I was mentioning, a Princeton University player, had a chance to watch her throughout her time, and she's really grown in just her reading of the game, understanding how to even be an option with her feet. Always has anticipated so well and already had the athleticism, agility. So it's great to see her get these opportunities with Dallas Trinity, because she's the type of goalie that can help solidify as you're trying to refine your defensive unit as well to be a team tough to score on.
I mentioned her distribution. She attempted 61 passes against DC Power. Goalkeepers being encouraged more and more to participate in the buildup, but even that is a massive number in terms of that first phase conductor.
Right now, both teams really just coming out and being okay with keeping their line of pressure a bit lower, not forcing things. You see now Dallas Trinity trying to step a bit higher to pressure, but it's a matter of being patient even defensively so you didn't get caught.
It's a useful ball. Screaming in was Mackenzie Weinert, and away by McCamey, who's not going to take any chances out of the back. Good bit of counter pressure by Lexington and latching on. Swept wide by Catherine Berry. Swaggering in towards the top of the box. Off the back heel. Goalkeeper hemmed in. It's Berry. Met with conviction by McCamey and held on to at the near post. Good sequence for Lexington.
It was, and they were able to start this off by just finding a bit of a flatter line defensively for Dallas Trinity, and well done by Catherine Berry to just spin off the back line here. That's a tough shooting angle. You saw McCamey a bit hesitant whether or not to come out, just decides to hold her ground there and cut off the angle. But that all starts by Lexington just being a bit more heads up to find those open gaps to start to get their progression of possession higher.
Punching the gaps on the near flank now, Dallas Trinity. Cameron Lancaster. Clever run from Bellotta, who fires in across, and it's glanced wide. Back to front like that. Leximissimo. Rare mistake for her in front of goal.
Things are heating up a little bit. This is now a Dallas Trinity getting their really good opportunity on the other end. Well done just to, again, get numbers in the box. Driven well across the 6, and that just glances off of the forehead of Missimo. If you would think that for those types of opportunities, as you mentioned, there's only so many of those that we're going to see come across the 6 without them being hammered home.
She was the big marquee addition last year. One of the most decorated college players ever. All-time leader in goals and assists at the University of Texas. Saw her go for 20 and 20 her final year at UT. Struggled with injury at the early part of the campaign and has not quite found her footing this year. Had that assist last week and hoping to get going, but has some remorse about missing out on that opportunity. Maybe more to come. Boss belting wide. It's Lancaster. Lancaster a little bit misguided. Never got her foot all the way around the ball. Dallas Trinity SC fans can stay connected all season by signing up for the club's newsletter for breaking news, special offers, and exclusive updates during year 2 of the Gainbridge Super League. Scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe. Probably good advice with the amount of additions Dallas has been making over the last couple of weeks and months and enriching this roster.
Yes, and they already have such a strong core, and they've been able to add to that. There's a number of players that have been able to play every minute or the majority of the minutes, and you just add some other pieces into it. It's a good blend of new and old, so to speak.
All Both these teams still trying to figure out their exact identity in year 2 of the division. It's always going to be a learning process. Everybody starting at the same place just over a year ago.
Lexington really picking their spots, not playing overly aggressive. I like the small combinations we've been seeing from them to find those pockets to break down Dallas Trinity defensively.
Kat Berry in the box. Embargoed by a pair of Trinity defenders and out for a throw. It's a good point, though. See Addie McCain at the controls and fostering that connection. That seems to be at the core of everything Lexington have been trying to do this year. Picking their moments as the operative word.
Yes, and it's a tricky balance. Do you want to be the team that has a high volume of chances, but they're not quality, versus being a bit more patient and composed to set yourself up for higher selection shots? And I think a team like Lexington, they've been a team that's generated a lot. We talked about it even in their loss to Dallas Trinity in their last outing. They've generated a lot of shots, but you need to create those high volume chances that are truly goal scoring chances. I think they're trying to find that balance as they're also refining their system as well, as they've talked to us about.
They've posted double-digit shots in all but one game this year as the foul is called. But, yes, this is a little bit of a misleading number just because of the fact that Lexington haven't played all that many games. But they've not scored a goal since February 7th, and it can have a psychological impact. Not seeing the ball hit the back of the net in a live environment for that long. A team that enjoyed so much success early. Being tested a little bit emotionally, mentally in this part of the season.
Yeah, that is tricky. I can tell you as a goal scorer, when you have consistent games where you're generating a lot of possession, creating a lot of chances, but you're not seeing the success of scoring goals, it can wear on you mentally, that you start to overthink a bit more. And, you know, that's where they're trying to make sure they're still valuing that higher pitch possession, but now being a bit more clinical to finish those chances and staying confident to have the green light to go and take those chances.
Touchline to touchline. Dallas exploring the full width of the pitch. Looked like Boss was the eventual target, but she never got out of the blocks. You can always tell that there's a high degree of quality on display just from the amount of instant decision making that we're seeing on the field so far. Every choice being made feels like it's coming out of instinct and not thought. Here's Boss. Cam Lancaster wriggling away and popping a pass forward.
Well, as that foul is called against Cameron Lancaster, we've seen a couple of times that's back-to-back possessions for Dallas where they're able to get some numbers forward, but then unable to get that final pass. And now you foul on top of that. You're giving Lexington a chance to set up, but that's honestly just off of a missed opportunity offensively, that as you're looking to hunt the ball back to win it back, you're a bit overly aggressive and concede the foul. So they just need to be a little bit more patient and just on the same page, honestly. It seems like that pass and the run are maybe not on the same page, the communication not there, but that's something that they will sort out.
Cameron Lancaster, one of those players that Coach Thackeray spotlighted as one of the unsung heroes, a question that you asked him in the build-up to this particular match with all the star power in the front line. Who maybe is the player that's setting your standard from a different area in the field? And he immediately went to Cam Lancaster.
Yeah, and it was great to just hear his thoughts on how much Lancaster's been able to help. And you need those players that can really raise the middle, so to speak, and, you know, take strides in how they're able to help provide. Everyone talks about the leading goal scorers and your goalies and the playmakers that maybe get the stats, but a player like Cameron Lancaster, who has the versatility, the consistency, as he mentioned, under the radar as an impact player, but is one of those consistent pieces that you need as you're building out the identity of your team.
Joint team leader in terms of crosses this year with 30. Came off the bench last game. Instant impact in a 20-minute cameo. 2 chances created, also had a shot on target. Dallas have cultivated a nice degree of depth. All the way back to Kat Hasman.
Lexington, who has been focused heavily on their defensive focus and really being able to control the tempo. We're seeing them do a good job once they do lose it of getting organized, getting their line high, and really making it difficult for Dallas to sustain possession.
Boss. Buildup. So confident on the ball. Just brought into the Super League Team of the Month for February. As well as Wisner. Pressing in force, Lexington. That leaves some space on the attacking end for Dallas Trinity. Boss in the middle. Misimo failing to create that half yard of space, then giving the ball away. Foul is called. Center official today, Mohamed Kalia. There's a Lexington player struggling to get back to her feet.
Sarah Griffith just kind of collided out of bounds here as she was looking to slide. You love the effort there, and then a slight collision on the sideline there. Listen, you're never safe when you're sitting close to the field, that's for sure. So Sarah Griffith, fortunately, up on her feet, does appear to be okay. Well defensively, though. Well done defensively by Lexington, and that 1v1 opportunity was actually Griffith that was helping to defend there. Going up against Lexi Misimo. It's a great job of just being patient to time her tackle and then help them get out into transition.
Have to love Caroline Swan, the teenager, not being shy for the tackle as well on her starting debut. Back in circulation. Using Kat Berry as the backboard, and she's unseated. The straying pass, though, is gobbled up by Lexington. There's Reagan Stigletter, recently acquired in her own right. 27-year-old center back. Spent the last 2 years with Kansas City Current, but only made one appearance his most recent season and 7 overall, getting a much more extended opportunity here with Lexington. She watches on as the roadside roll out into the attack. Summoning first touch. Weinert. Lost the plot in the end.
Both teams really right now just struggling a bit to get into that final third. They value their possession so much. They want to get numbers forward, especially getting their mids involved in the attack. But it does seem like we've seen a couple of good chances, don't get me wrong, but consistently more the issue of you get numbers forward and then you're unable to break through to get that shot, that cross, that final third pass that you would want.
More direct approach here. Boss is going to see it escape her. That ball that got out of bounds is a Select ball, and Select is the official match ball supplier of the Gainbridge Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Well, in a situation like this, I mean, obviously these two so familiar and having just played, it sometimes just comes down to who's willing to take more risks. You know, at times you could be playing a bit safe instead of trying to be more dynamic or creative with that pass or run. You're instead just electing to kind of knock it forward and turning it over. And I'm curious to see if either team starts to raise the tempo and intensity in that regard of taking those chances. We saw Kat Berry peel off the back line one time. We saw a good service into the box by Samar Guidry. Will we get more of that dynamic playmaking to help find ways to break down the opponent?
You said it, these teams are plenty familiar. Just in the case of Kat Hasman, this is now her 4th time in her first year with the club, seeing Dallas Trinity. Both teams have had games where they've had the big 6-goal score lines. Lexington getting Dallas back in that regard this year. It's been a pretty knockdown, drag-out, lock-even series to this point. Of course, this is Lexington's most recent opponent as well. Bit of an awkward ball to deal with for Stigletter. Does handle it pretty well. Elsewise in the league, it's Brooklyn up 3-0 on Tampa Bay, the reigning champs. Getting put to the sword a little bit in what's been a difficult season for them. Also available on Peacock for you.
Lots of goals in that first half of the game. Wonder if there's some goals coming this way. Are they going to share with us? Or is Brooklyn going to be the team that's scoring all the goals tonight across the league?
Time will tell. Maybe something to that with Allie Brown. And Barry, a bit blindly whacking it out of play, but it's because it took a deflection. Both these teams would love for that to be the case, though. Struggling for offense. Needing that spark of invention and some new ideas, maybe. On the wide side, it's a failing first touch, but controlled in the end. Griffith presenting the run and a little bit slow to get into top gear.
Well, also, I know we talked about it when we were discussing Catherine Barry's impact for Lexington, but it has been a 2-game scoreless drought for Lexington. Prior to that, the previous 4 goals they had scored, Barry had 2 goals and assists, so contributed to 3 of the 4. So she's in a bit of a drought, but also that's partly why Lexington has been struggling to score, because their offense goes as she goes. We mentioned how she's been leading the league in scoring, and so they need to figure out a way to get back, get right, reset the offense. But Dallas not too far off of that. You look at their recent results. It was a set-piece goal that Bethany Boss scored. It was a stoppage time goal that Heather Stainbrook scored. It has been difficult for them to score just consistently in the run of play in the last couple outings, even with both teams' success that they've seen down this stretch of the season.
I gotta imagine with the long layoff in the middle of the year and then this 10-day layoff as well, it's very difficult to find that kind of tempo and rhythm over the course of a long season when you've got that patchy run of fixtures on the docket.
Plus new faces, new coaches, plenty of reasons to make excuses, but the reality is there's no time for excuses. Who can figure out the best way to get these pieces to work together and to learn? And I know that's what both coaches really kept just hitting home for us. It's not really even about their opponent. It's about figuring out ways to develop that execution, the identity that they want. So I do imagine this game, if I had to predict, if I had to rub the crystal ball, I think it's going to take some time, probably the second half, that they really settle in to a consistent groove. This first half might be more feeling each other out, figuring each other out in that sense. But I could be wrong. You never know.
They let you take a crystal ball through TSA?
Apparently. My predictions are either very, very accurate or very, very wrong. So we'll see what tonight brings.
How could you be wrong with a crystal ball? Here's Allie Brown. Speaking of the international break and a little bit of disruption in the schedule, but in terms of high-level form, well, maybe we can return to that here in a moment. In full form, Lexington SC on the break. Shouts away, and Paydirt found. Alyssa Bourgeois busts through and breaks up the deadlock. 1-0 Lexington.
And now I can say I was incorrect, because here comes our first goal of the match. I knew I was going to jinx us one way or the other. It's Alyssa Bourgeois able to fly down that right flank. Nobody steps for Dallas Trinity, and she just takes the open lane. Well done off of this wide angle to drive this one back post out of the reach of Tyler McCaney and tucks it just into the far post to give us our first goal of the game. And most importantly for Lexington, snapping a 2-game scoring drought for this team. It's been since early February since they last scored a goal. So beyond even games, looking at the calendar dates, it's been quite some time since they've had a chance to celebrate a goal. And Alyssa Bourgeois able to make that happen tonight.
40 days in the making. That's her second professional goal. And Lexington are flying in the first half here in Texas. It had been Dallas Trinity generating the better run of chances. It's the first time they've really gotten anything on target, Lexington. Such a good finish, though, at the full break like that.
And well done. I mean, this is what they've talked about, wanting to execute more, being the team that's typically out-shooting opponents and not scoring and wanting to reverse that. So Lexington really able to just, as we saw in that play, stay poised. There was good off-ball movement as well that just really distracted and took the attention of Dallas defensively to even allow for that open lane to open up. So well done by Lexington. And I still am curious now, as I was predicting possibly incorrectly, that the second half things are going to open up. But it's still 1-0. Anything can still happen. Maybe I'm still going to be even more wrong, and we'll get more goals before halftime.
Rolling at the near touch line. You know, that was the big thing that Kosuke Kimura was focused on. Felt like they generated plenty of good chances. Maybe put in one of their best performances tip to tail of the season against Dallas in the 1-0 loss at home, and just couldn't finish. Seeing that first one go in has to be a massive relief for Lexington.
Ooh, and a little bit of confusion there. I know Dallas wanted a pass back call, and actually I think they had a valid case that the original one looked like a pass back.
Hammered towards goal and hurled wide. Gear up for year 2 and rep Dallas Trinity SC with the latest kits, scarves, and merch, including the newly released Trinity Flair collection. Visit shop.dallastrinitysc.com to grab yours and show your colors all season long. One of the best branded clubs in not only the Super League, but all of American soccer, Dallas Trinity. And repping those colors proudly here at the early going of her tenure with the club, Bethany Boss. Lifted into the channel. There was a heavy collision that will just be incidental contact in the eyes of the referee.
Well, we do feel some of the intensity seems to be increasing, and typically a goal getting scored will do just that. But Dallas still trying to find that way through. I mean, honestly, both teams haven't been able to do it consistently. It's been a lot of playing in front of the back line versus being able to get in behind. Alyssa Bourgeois, the only one that's been able to find success in doing so. But now with this score line as 1-0, Dallas Trinity going to need to figure out a way to play off of players like Bethany Boss and their front line, Cameron Lancaster getting it behind, finding ways to combine and connect to break down this Lexington defense.
Dallas running the game in terms of the possession, but Lexington starting to sink their teeth in a little bit. That's a lovely ball in behind. A nifty bit of dribbling as it falls free at the near side of the box. Diving intervention necessary, as it was Guidry scrambling over with the cover. Last game for her, she had 8 ball recoveries and 4 interceptions, showing her defensive chops as she does again here.
Well done here, just to time this perfectly for Guidry to slide that one out of danger and clear it out wide. Lexington, another good chance for them, getting numbers in the dangerous areas and being able to unbalance Dallas defensively.
Renee, we're seeing more and more Lexington forcing Dallas into more of a long ball approach, blocking off that midfield, making things difficult.
That's exactly it. A number of times Lexington is combining to get forward, as we're seeing them attempting to do right there, but it does feel like Dallas has been playing a bit too direct at times.
Straight to the point here. Stainbrook, reinforcement arriving. A little bit of a biteless cross and cued away. Guidry. Wisner and back in for McCamey.
There's another example. I mean, I think at times it feels as though they're trying to get the pass to open up the run instead of the run setting up the option for the pass to be made. Just a bit too reactive in that sense, instead of their attackers being able to anticipate and be a pass ahead, the movement should be opening up, the possession, the options. And yet Dallas it seems as though they don't have options, and then they're selecting to instead knock it forward and then defend.
Goalkeeper's out for this. There's Barry, who's trying to attach herself, but ahead of her, Mackenzie Weiner, who's put to ground, and free kick is given.
This is in a really good position on the field for Lexington, as Weiner just a bit slow to get up. You see here, as she was looking to make that run off of Guidry, they get tangled up. Weiner falls down. But I like the activity we're seeing from Lexington's forwards. Catherine Barry, Mackenzie Weiner, even Sarah Griffith. We're seeing them all over the park just checking back to be an option, and then sometimes instead making the run to stretch their offense. But this time it does set up for a good opportunity for a good set piece in terms of maybe a chipped pass in that you can run onto and see what you can do with it.
What's in the imagination of Daria Raji? That's a question to be answered momentarily. Over the ball, casting her shadow. Hooked in, looking for Barry. Big target to aim at. Over her head and out for a goal kick. Dallas Trinity FC returns to the Cotton Bowl on Sunday, March 22nd, as they host top-of-the-table Sporting Jacks. The match day will feature Girl Scouts Day, recognition of Women's History Month, and Sting Night, honoring the legendary 1984 Dallas Sting. Tickets available at dallastrinity.com/tickets or by scanning the QR code on your screen. Just now joining us, Melissa Bourgeois is the point of difference, a breakaway goal. Just about 25 minutes in. That has it 1-0. Lexington hungry for more as they press the gas. Stainbrook skips away from one. Fumbled out of play.
Lexington is without, we talked about Tati Fung, who's out this game. One of their leading assist holders, also Amina Ekic, one who we might see at a later point in this game, and still able to do a better job right now of creating through their midfield. It does feel like they're playing a bit more to feet, able to keep it more, and able to connect as they build as a unit. We're still trying to figure out, I mean, it's half an hour in, over half an hour in, and still trying to see if Dallas Trinity can really get their front line to connect with the middle of their group. A lot of just missed passes in this place of the field for Dallas Trinity right now.
Just on Ekic. If you're wondering if she's in good form, the answer is yes. She's just been globetrotting a little bit, trying to get her up to speed with the jet lag. She's been on international call-up with Bosnia, and I'd say it was a pretty good round of qualifying for Bosnia. Ekic putting up, get this, 5 assists and 2 goals over the course of 2 matches, 2 victories for Bosnia over Estonia, and a 13-1 result over Liechtenstein.
That's a massive loss in terms of playmakers. I mean, Ekic and Fung each with 4 assists for this group. They help get their offense going in terms of creating, facilitating, finding their front line. And right now, though, Lexington's still doing a better job offensively of connecting.
Stabbing tackle, connecting those dots at least for the time being. Lexington SC just on Ekic as Dallas take over. Excellent interview with Amina on the United Soccer Lounge podcast. Riley James talking to Ekic about the opportunity to play for Bosnia and how it's brought her family together, how it's been an immense experience connecting them, coming to the games and getting back to her roots, her heritage. An opportunity that was presented because of her performance in the Super League and may not have happened without that.
Yes, when you look across the Gainbridge Super League, there's so much in terms of talent and competition, but it's also great to just see the way that they're represented internationally. There's been a number of call-ups and players that are making waves on the international stage as well. And that's just such a great reflection of the league.
The Gainbridge Super League season is in full swing. Visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com for the latest information, analysis, and insight on all things Gainbridge Super League. You talk about the exposure and the opportunity that's being provided to players from all different levels, all different backgrounds. Excellent place to keep tabs on all the happenings in the division on the league website.
And there's plenty to keep up to date with.
Sure.
So many things. I mean, even yesterday to today, we saw a change in the standings with that Caroline Ascent victory over DC Power. So much happening within the league, but as we've already talked about with players like Amina Ekic, outside the league of what these tremendous players are doing internationally as well.
More and more international call-ups coming out of the division. Very exciting times. Already so much progress been made. Just midway into this second season. There were 21 players from in and around the division that were representing a nation in some capacity during this window. Infield it goes. Spare runner at the back post. Lancaster. Guidry's cross is blocked. Busting along to try and keep it free of a corner. Failing to do so. It will be a set piece for Dallas Trinity.
And our first corner kick of the game. Samara Guidry and Cameron Lancaster have been a really consistent piece of helping Dallas Trinity get forward down this right side.
This corner kick is presented by Cornerstone Capital Bank. And might it be the Cornerstone that launches a comeback effort for Dallas Trinity as they already chase 1-0.
Dallas needing something here. Have to see if they can get their runs into the box.
So heart rate spiking ball and advantage being played. Almost looked like it caught Lexington napping a little bit there. Stainbrook.
Dallas wanted a penalty kick because of the collision with Bethany Boss being brought down as she was checking to the ball. I actually just saw in a previous game, it was Brooklyn's game versus DC Power, a penalty kick called in the same manner of an off-ball foul. And I think that this one was not as obvious, but definitely was. I always believe in arguing anytime a player on your team gets brought down in the box. Why not?
Just make the case.
Doesn't hurt. You lose 100% of the cases you don't plead.
Let's take a look back. You be the judge.
Well, this is exactly it. As Bethany Boss was checking to the ball there, and Taylor Ulmer collides with her, immediately frustrated. And then on top of that, a foul just got called against Dallas Trinity that they do not agree with. So 2 calls in a row that they are not happy with in terms of their fans especially. But when you're chasing the game, every little detail, every little whistle that goes your way, or in this case does not, does matter significantly.
Allie Brown. Stigletter. And Ulmer.
Now Lexington just continuing to play patient. This is where you do want to make sure you're managing the game. That's something they've also talked about, is being better at managing late stretches of the halves. And so this is that opportunity to just take a little bit of air out of the surge that we've seen from Dallas Trinity as of late. The corner, the fouls, a little bit more energy and life to what Dallas Trinity's been bringing offensively to just reset the tempo in their favor for Lexington.
That is the hard to quantify part of the game, how you're managing the moments, running the pace of play. All the best teams in the world, though, are able to set their conditions for a game and make their opponent adapt. Swift thinking at the far side. A no-nonsense tackle from Hinson. It's a throw in for Dallas.
These are those types of moments that do directly change the momentum a little bit as we're seeing the first booking of the contest.
Yellow card given. Name taken is Sarah Griffith. Only her second yellow of the year. She will sit on a caution, though, for the rest of the contest.
As we see the throw-in from Hinson, these are those moments that do kind of wake your team up a little bit. And it could be on either side. It could be Lexington frustrated with the yellow, or Dallas Trinity getting going, knowing that they're trailing this game and halftime is approaching.
Guidry, Lancaster. Launched across in, it was blocked. Guidry. Building some rhythm now. Pressing the issue. Lancaster driving away. An arresting tackle put in by the Lexington defender. Really in a scrap now. And it escapes. Lancaster there at the touchline. Just like we've got the backs of Dallas Trinity SC, Trust and Will also has yours, helping families protect their legacy for generations. Start your plan at trustandwill.com. Loose pass in the mid-park. Lancaster.
Well, Dallas Trinity's had the better of possession and also more final third entry passes than Lexington, but 0 shots on goal. That's one of the always most important stats that I look at, because regardless of how much possession, I know both coaches talked about this, they don't want to just be a team that out-possesses their opponent. They want to out-shoot and essentially outscore, obviously. That part doesn't have to be mentioned. That's pretty obvious. But I do think that's a big key. They haven't been able to even test at all Kat Asman in getting a shot on goal.
A crushing tackle, but fair play. Fanning out on the break, Lexington. Addie McCain. Lexington are always better when she's involved.
McCain, another player that does lead them in terms of goal scoring.
Down by Barry. Raked away inside the box, and Barry called for the foul.
Barry just so active up top, constantly moving in and out of the back line to try to help hold balls up top, strong on the ball, attracts so much attention. Definitely she wanted the call in her favor. And as a tall former player myself, I think sometimes tall players get a bad rep. Barry does stand at 6 feet tall, and typically fouls are not called when you're the taller player in your favor. I'm not saying there's a height bias or anything, but I feel her pain.
Might be a mildly unreliable narrator.
Very biased for sure.
1 minute of stoppage time. I think you're right, though. Barry always up amongst it, using that body, using that physicality to her advantage. And that is the key to striker play, just figuring out how to use the skills available to you to create that half yard of separation you need to get a sighted target. Down by Lancaster, who speeds forward and threads a through ball in for Boss. Goalkeeper's out and guiding wide. It's a goal kick, and Kat Asman's down.
Oh, that was a great build-up. Well done by Cameron Lancaster to slot this one through, able to split the gap perfectly. Perfect weight on it as well to allow Bethany Boss to be able to run onto this. I like the one-touch idea there by Bethany, especially with Kat Asman coming off of her line. Everything was executed well except to get that one on frame. That one is on goal, and this is a 1-1 game currently. But that is the best chance we've seen outside of course, the finish by Alyssa Bourgeois by either team. Just unfortunate for Dallas Trinity.
A couple real chances for Bethany Boss that have gone unpunished here today.
Now That was the first one we've seen really going towards goal. If you think back some of the earlier services, especially Samara Guidry's ball across the box, Lancaster, I believe, had one as well. They went across the top of the six, but never were able to go towards frame. That was the first chance that was truly towards goal that Dallas Trinity had, and it took until stoppage time for them to get that opportunity.
Maybe enough allowance to conjure one more opportunity. Referee reaches for the whistle and brings us to the break. So it's Lexington up a goal, reversing the tide of what was a frustrating day 10 days ago against Dallas Trinity. They fell 1-0 in that one. They're the ones grinning into the break. A goal to the good.
Well, for Dallas Trinity, it took until stoppage time to get their first real threat on around frame. Positive is you can build off that momentum into the second half to look to equalize this, whereas Lexington came out with the better of consistent play throughout this, maintained the better opportunities in the attack, and that's what led to the Alyssa Bourgeois goal and this 1-0 lead that they're nursing.
We will speak to Alyssa Bourgeois here in a moment, getting things set there. Lexington, all smiles into the break. And Alyssa, as we join you now, that was some finish. How did it feel to finally see the ball hit the back of the net after waiting effectively 40 days to score a live goal?
What was that?
How did it feel to score that goal, having waited so long and not having one in the last couple of games?
I can't hear him. Yeah, I just, it's like crackling. I can't
Live
hear
television.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Alyssa. Just curious about the goal and how it felt to see you guys score.
Well, the goal speaks for itself. All right, we'll head to the break. Recap the first half. Hear from Dallas as it's 1-0 Lexington at the intermission. Strong performance from the Kentucky side. Here on the road. Much more to come here at the intermission.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
A dream too big to measure, a will too strong to break. While others played, she prepared. She worked. Every sacrifice, every setback, every moment changed with this. While others saw limits, she saw a challenge. Every rep, every step, proof she's not finished. She's not just coming back, she's coming back stronger than ever. Scottish Rite for Children. Champions caring for champions.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dad drills. Let's go. Your kid falls asleep 1 minute 32 seconds from home. What's the play?
Park and wait.
Quick glance. What's missing?
Emergency fruit snacks? Binky. Easy.
In-game challenge. Have you officially named a guardian?
My parents?
Doesn't count. This play needs a plan. Guardianship must be legal before it's official. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it incredibly easy.
It's secure, affordable, and actually counts.
Next topic. I am wide open. What do you do?
Run it.
Visit trustandwill.com today and make it count.
Here at the half, at the Cotton Bowl, the home side has some work to do as we enter the second frame. Lexington, not a goal to the good over Dallas Trinity, and time now for Playmakers, a Dallas Trinity FC feature presented by UT Southwestern Medical Center. Tonight, we spotlighted Chioma Upagugu and Dallas Trinity, a recently named one of just 9 Gainbridge Super League players selected as a brand ambassador for Gainbridge. Here's more on Chioma in this edition of Playmakers.
In terms of mentally, I love visualization. I love kind of picturing, the positions I'm going to be on the pitch. How can I help the team? How are ways we're going to get goals? And I try to see that in my mind. And then, whatever game they fit, I'm going to throw on. I do that. And then, I get to the locker room, talk to my teammates a little bit. I like to play everything on my left side before my right side because I'm left-handed, left-footed. Love wearing a headband. Been wearing a headband since I was like 10. These are just little game day things that make it exciting for me, that change it up from a practice to make it, like, hey, it's time. And try to have a good warm-up, and then it's time to go. It's time to play.
Back here at halftime. And as we head to the break, stay with us for a special preview of Episode 2 of Built for Success, stories from the Gainbridge Super League featuring Tampa Bay Sun FC. Captain Jordan Listro and her journey from her home in Canada to captaining the Sun, their first ever title in the first in league history.
Definitely Jordan's best qualities are how hard and physical she is, and it's not fun to play against.
2-touch, Jordan. Touch, finish. Jordan brings a ton of experience. She's an absolute warrior on the field.
I just want to win so bad, and I'll just do anything it takes. And that's kind of my mentality.
We're excited you're here this evening as we take on Spokane Zephyr FC.
This is all hard, like this game, because it is brutal out here.
Tampa Bay in search of their first home win.
Being a professional athlete, there are going to be lows and adversity.
We can do this, but we have to put in the work.
The back stick. Oh, it goes in off the deflection.
The Gainbridge Super League. It's giving so many players more opportunities to play. It's been a dream come true for me.
Dallas Trinity FC is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA+.
All the energy in action.
Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA+.
Join us every match,
every moment.
We'll see you on the pitch.
Work shouldn't leave you feeling stiff or sore. You deserve a happier, healthier workday. That starts with a better workspace. One where you can stand a little, move a little, and feel a lot better. Barry has everything you need for head-to-toe comfort, with standing desks, ergonomic seating and accessories, so you can work well and live well. And right now, you can level up your space and save even more at Barry.com.
Sport is for everyone, but too often the moment slips away. Here Sport brings live, audio-described, multilingual commentary straight to your phone. So every play, every call, and every cheer is there for everyone. Trusted by clubs and fans, simple, instant, and accessible. Here Sport, live sport.
Have a great trip.
Do you think they'll be okay?
Honey, nothing's gonna happen. And if it did, your parents would take care of the kids. Our money, our house, everything would go to them immediately.
Doesn't count. It's a solid plan in your head, but if you want those things to actually happen, you need a trust. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. A trust helps you avoid probate court, giving your loved ones immediate access to your funds, and it'll actually count. Slug bug! Get started at trustandwill.com and make it count.
Tails wagging at halftime for Lexington SC. They are a goal ahead of Dallas Trinity here at the break. A riveting first half. The highlights from that frame coming to you.
That is how we finished in this 1-0 first half of play.
And there it is, the clinical edge. As mentioned previous, Lexington SC, only 2 shots, but put both on target, finished 1. A little bit wasteful from Dallas in the first 45.
Definitely, with those 4 shots, the better of possession with 53% in their favor, as well as a corner kick. Dallas Trinity FC seemed like they got a little bit better as the half wore on. Again, we saw that final chance, that best chance they had the entire half. So if they can continue that with the number of final third entries, they could have a strong second half to look to tie this up.
That's a very small dog. All sizes of dogs welcome, though. Pups at the pitch night, and it's 1-0 Lexington. All the pooches on hand, hoping that Dallas has some goals in them in the second 45. That's what's coming to you when we return.
Dallas Trinity FC is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA+.
All the energy in action.
Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA+.
Join us every match,
every moment.
We'll see you on the pitch.
A dream too big to measure, a will too strong to break. While others played, she prepared. She worked. Every sacrifice, every setback, every moment changed with this. While others saw limits, she saw a challenge. Every rep, every step, proof she's not finished. She's not just coming back, she's coming back stronger than ever. Scottish Rite for Children. Champions caring for champions.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Oh, look, great blue heron.
Oh, your favorite.
You know, when I go, I'd like to leave some money to the local bird conservancy.
Oh, that's a beautiful legacy too.
Doesn't count. Generous, but final wishes need to be more finalized. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy to create a legally valid, state-specific document that actually counts. Ooh, what's that?
That's a duck.
Start your will at trustandwill.com now and make it count.
We're all growing something, a dream, a business, a better way to live. At Gardenuity, we bring the experience of growing to life, made simple, for wherever you live, work, or play. Because growth isn't just what happens in the soil, it's what happens in you. Gardenuity, made to grow.
Nice shot. Let's play.
Second half set to unfold here in Texas, Lexington. A nose in front after 45 minutes. This top of the table clash between Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity. With Renee Washington, I'm Peyton Gallagher. The next 45 could be massively instructive to how this table shapes up. At the end of the season, we are set to get into the meat and potatoes of this clash between two of the best teams in the league. As you saw, we saw the very best from Lexington in that first half, and they will look to continue that in the second half here, but also when they are next at home against Fort Lauderdale United. That's coming up this weekend, Renee. Lexington team that's prepping themselves for a run-in that could put them at the top of the table in this playoff picture.
That is the key. You want to be moving in the right direction as you near the end of this regular season stretch.
Dallas looking to do exactly that. Effectively a 6-pointer against Sporting Jacks coming up for them. That's at home here on Saturday as well, March 22nd. Whole host of home games. It's the first of a 4-game homestand for them. Real opportunity to make up some ground in the table, and potentially with the new additions and finding themselves under a new manager, a chance to play a big part for the number 1 seed. They get this result here today and take down Sporting Jacks. That's points gained on the 2 top seeds.
That's exactly it. The beauty of the way this schedule is worked out is you have a chance to directly play the teams that you are battling with top of the standing. So it's almost like a 6-point swing. You're adding 3 points if you win, and you're taking 3 points from a team that you're competing with. And so it's really valuable that at this stretch, you're playing your best soccer. You really want to be trending towards, your peak level of performance as the season wears on. And what better test than to play against the teams you're competing with for the standings, which also means they're also top of the standings as well. And so every game really has that postseason vibe to it, which also helps prepare you down in the long run as well.
How do you feel about the response for Lexington coming off their first defeats of the season? Getting to see the same team that just beat you in Dallas Trinity. Felt like they were firmly in control in that first half.
I think that was a great response for Lexington, and I anticipate them to continue to try to have those same types of components that worked well in the first half. Being patient, being composed, valuing quality over quantity, and that's the response you want from a team that not only lost but also has been held scoreless the last 2 outings to get back into what's been making this Lexington team able to have the success they've had this season.
Pressing down the line and into the center, it's a heavy touch at the foot of Sarah Griffith. Did have the assist in the first half on that goal from Alyssa Bourgeois.
Well, the other reality is you look at this and bigger picture, you say, listen, we don't anticipate to go undefeated. Would we like to? Absolutely. Everyone would. But we don't anticipate going perfect through the season. So if those are the types of hiccups you have, moments that are not going to drastically hurt you for the playoff picture, but allow you to learn, build, and have something that almost puts a little fire under you of just some fuel to help motivate you to reset and learn some things. So there's nothing wrong with I hate to say it, a good loss, because as a person that hated losing, it's hard to say. But there are such things as good losses if you can make them count, that you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Flown in by Lancaster. It falls all the way free. Hints in. Again, it's that final product that's been so elusive for Dallas Trinity. Kat Hasman. Contested by Boss. Referees let him play today. A little bit of contact in gaining the ball there by Weiner, but it's back with Dallas Trinity. Strong strides from Swan. And Lancaster involved again. High hooking cross that Kat Asman will be happy to fly straight into her mitts and throw out here to start the build.
But for Dallas Trinity, the better of their chances have come through their flank services. And I know we talked about it before. They've got 9 goals that they've been able to head home this season, which leads the league. They are a team that has the prolific unit that can finish crosses, but they need to find other ways to also mix it up. Essentially, that versatility that sometimes it's off the services, but sometimes, much like we saw Lancaster to Boss at the end of the first half, can you create in the run of play with some really efficient final passes as well?
Misimo flashing to the far side. Not enough hoist. Ulmer. Skips away for what will be a throw. Nathan Thackeray at the controls. Been a process for him. First season with the project and making some serious progress. Kat Berry with a tap dance. Well tackled, but illegally. Wisner, the one called for a little bit too much feist in the tackle.
Amber Wisner here working against Kat Berry. This is the Amber Wisner I grew up with that I recognize. There's my teammate. Just a little extra arm jostling with Kat Berry, pleading her case after the whistle was blown. The captain, one that's played every minute for Dallas since she's joined them, has been such a staple for this team. And that's what has also helped this unit be successful on top of its standings when you have players like Wisner that you can rely on each game. But this one, she didn't get away with as Kat Berry did it. Draw the foul.
Angled in towards Berry, over her head. I don't know if she knew too much about that as it came back down to earth, and the break is brewing. Swan releasing all the way into the feet of Boss, who's by herself on the run. Bethany Boss tracked down. That is a stunning piece of defending. As the goal scorer, Alyssa Bourgeois, goes the distance.
Well done in transition. You like the idea here to spring Bethany Boss into open land. That went a bit wide, so she had to slow down. And then a heavy touch here just allows for Alyssa Bourgeois to be able to come in for the slide. Bourgeois is doing a little bit of everything today and just able defensively to show what she does so well as an outside back. It's not just getting up the park, it's the ability to retreat in transition. And that's just a great 50-50 play that she was able to explosively get to first to clear out that transition opportunity. Boss a little bit slow, not only to get up, but then still stepping gingerly as well.
Hinson hammering in. She took a pretty big blow there. I think important to note that once Bourgeois committed to that tackle, she had to be exactly right. Otherwise, she's giving up the penalty. Won the ball, even if there was a little bit of contact, as this will at least test the nerve. Kat Asman. She'll say that she was never worried, but it got a little bit close for comfort.
Definitely did.
Goal kick. Stay connected all season long by signing up for the club's newsletter for breaking news, special offers, exclusive updates during the Year 2 Gainbridge Super League. Scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe today.
Well, right now, the better opportunities for Dallas Trinity have been services, transition play. Even that last play that we saw at the conclusion of the first half, that was in transition. So when they're able to find ways to get out into open space before Lexington sets up defensively, that's been the better of their opportunities so far.
Too hot to handle. Good touch from Coach.
Still has the hands in the pockets and everything. That's
It's casual.
effective. Very casual, always ready. Even, again, coaches as well.
Boss, speaking of good touches, scrambling centrally, Misimo. Stainbrook. Lancaster. Looks like she had the defender exactly where she wanted her. Recovery defending put in by Allie Brown and out for a corner.
And Stainbrook plays this one out wide to Lancaster. A nice diagonal split pass to find Lancaster, who's not afraid to get her on the edge. Working 1v1 there, does a good job against Allie Brown to at least set up for this corner kick opportunity.
Corner kick coming. It is a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner. And it's pushed into a dangerous area. Kat Asman holding her ground and hanging on to the ball. One of the league's best goalkeepers on loan from Orlando.
Kate has been doing a good job. Unfortunate on that distribution there. Does give it right back to Dallas Trinity, but so far has been doing a good job of getting to those services first. We're seeing a number of the two corners and even the crosses Dallas Trinity has had that are being dropped right top of the 6. And so far, Asman's been anticipating, reading it perfectly to get there before a maroon jersey can beat her to the punch.
That's a dangerous ball. Lancaster's onto it with options. Picks one out. Stainbrook. No advantage presents. It will be a free kick. This is prime real estate to test the target.
Not only prime real estate, but they were 3v6 on that play. Of course, winning it off of the mistake by Lexington. They didn't have great shape, so this is actually one of the best outcomes they could have gotten from this with that foul. Taylor Almer fouls there, top of the box. Lexington had numbers, they had shape. They were doing a good job of keeping Dallas Trinity out wide. And that foul just sets them up for a prime space. This is prime real estate for a game-tying play. No pressure. I may have jinxed last time in favor of a goal. I don't know if I'm jinxing the right way this time.
Looks like Winnie Bellata is the one that is at least hatching the plan.
Well, this isn't a position. You practice this so often, and your first thought is, can I drive this one over the wall into that near post or even with pace back post to try to beat Asman? But this is a position you're looking to shoot this one on frame and have your team follow up for any rebounds.
It belongs to Lexi Misimo, who goes over the wall and tucks it in. Picked it up and put it there, and Dallas are on level terms. A light-footed strike from Lexi Misimo.
Lexi Misimo delivers, but this is what started it all. It's Cameron Lancaster able to draw the foul just outside the box, and then here comes Lexi Misimo. Delivers, executes that one perfectly. That's incredible placement right over the wall. Does take a slight deflection, but that doesn't matter. With the pace and the placement, that one is headed on frame perfectly out of the reach of Kat Asman and into the back of the net to tie this game up exactly as you draw it up and as you practice. That Lexi Misimo able to execute this one perfectly for Dallas in a much-needed goal-scoring situation.
And maybe lost in the moment. Dallas put 3 extra players in that wall. I don't know if Kat Asman even saw the ball until it was right on top of her. Very well-rehearsed routine free kick to get it level, and there's a player down.
And that's exactly why you do that. When you look at this play, at that previous play, as we now see Alyssa Bourgeois down and slow to get up, this is, as I was mentioning, a goal-scoring play. You have players in the wall because you want to just create chaos. You have your other teammates that are following for any rebounds. Again, that deflection does actually help it change direction a bit to help it near post, but you're putting as many bodies in front because you want to make it difficult for any keeper to see the ball, and the goal is by the time they see the ball, it's going in the goal. And that's exactly what we saw there with Lexi Misimo's placement and execution on that set piece.
Bourgeois back up. You appreciate the industry. A lot of players would try the difficult technique to try and get it up and down from that close in. Instead going around the wall and finding the bottom corner, finding the leveler. That's big for Lexi Misimo's confidence after missing so much of the early going of the season. Only her second goal of the year, and it's back-to-back weeks with a contribution now with the assist last week, but it might just be undone immediately. See if the flag pops up for offside, and it will. That's a bailout.
Yeah, and actually that was a really good opportunity for Lexington. Just had to be a bit more aware there as Tyler McCamey was off her line and turned the ball over. But with that initial pass, you know your teammate's already in offside position. You almost need to keep it, maybe take a touch and try to crack one on frame yourself versus the pass, because with McCamey off her line and a wide open net, that could have been goal number 2 for Lexington.
Dallas had been generating a handful of half chances. This is such a difficult to deal with defense for Lexington. Watertight in so many ways. Effectively top of the league in almost every important tracking category, not just the raw output. Dallas do find their lifeline back in. The pressure returns to the feet and shoulders of Lexington as this cross comes in dangerously and is knotted away. Is it for a corner? No. Last touch by Sarah Griffith.
Lexington still hasn't had their first corner kick of this match. Just well defended there by Sierra Hinson and Dallas Trinity's back line.
Really haven't seen much of the game so far. Just about a quarter hour into the second half. See if they maybe come out of their shell a little bit on a game that is in the balance much more. Griffith able to free herself. Tamed by Boss. And Tuso stepping in to snag it for the Kentucky side. Stigletter. Raji. Well-connected play as Lexington work through the gears, find themselves on the edge of the final third. We'll see when Kasuki Kimura maybe goes to the dugout, tries to inject some life from the bench. Not needed right now, though. Weinertz. Looked like she was on her way to ground. She struck the ball never on balance, and it's out for a goal kick.
And for Lexington, that's something that Coach Kimura has talked so much about with us, of just the aspects of their build-up and their final third patterns that they've been working on in terms of execution, of ways to break down their opponents, ways to maybe even have some minor adjustments in how they're attacking, whether it's creating width, adjusting how they're moving through their midfield, just showing some different shapes and organization to their build-up. And it does seem like they're doing a good job today of building up and creating in terms of combination through their midfield.
They are one of the top scoring sides in the league, but a big part of that has not necessarily been the live play output. They've scored 7 corner kick goals. That's the most in the league. 4 from throw-ins, which certainly is making use of an area of set pieces that often isn't goal dangerous. So still some work to be done in terms of how they're breaking opponents down.
That's the thing also, when you do have that reputation as a goal-scoring team, opponents are now going to make sure that defensively they're doing everything they can to have their T's crossed and their I's dotted when it comes to how they're getting their shape so quickly, because they expect players like Kat Berry and Mackenzie Weiner to attract so much attention and create so much.
Tempting the press here, Lexington. Alarm bells ringing. Bourgeois hemmed into the corner. Pressed relentlessly by Dallas, and it will be a throw-in for Lexington.
Dallas bringing the pressure. That's an area they've talked a lot about for their focus of being a high-press team. I know Nathan Thackeray touched on how much they want to just wreak havoc, and we're seeing them do that all throughout the pitch. In the second half, it feels like at a higher tempo than they did in the first half.
This could be trouble. Weinert's in. Weinertz runs into a wall. Samar Guidry sees to it that does not go any further. It's out for a goal kick.
Another great play in transition. Both outside backs on the right side for their respective teams really doing a good job showing you what defensive transition play looks like. This time, Samara Guidry able to get the stop against Mackenzie Weiner. No foul, gets the goal kick, ball's going the other way. You can't draw it up any better than that if you're Dallas Trinity.
Gear up for year 2 to wrap Dallas Trinity SC with the latest kits, scarves, and merch, including the newly released Trinity Flair collection. Visit shop.dallastrinitysc.com to grab yours and showcase your colors all season long. Just returning to that tackle by Samara Guidry. You know what I love about that? She waited to commit until the ball was shown enough to her to where she could be sure she was going to make the tackle. As the foul is given, her side reaping the benefits and on the front foot.
Yes, we are seeing throughout the course of this game some of just the extra high IQ plays. Samara Guidry just showed us one there defensively on that previous possession, I should say. Those are the small areas that do make a massive difference in terms of separation. We've talked about the competitiveness of the league and how close one team to the next is. It is those types of decisions to get that as a goal kick versus a penalty kick that drastically can help your team be either top of the table or somewhere fighting in the middle.
Searching ball. On an angle, Boss has a crack. A second effort will test Kat Asman, who answers the call. Well positioned and on balance to make a play.
Another great look there by Dallas Trinity. Again, this second half, their offense has definitely improved in terms of creating more.
Tearing at the seam, Sarah Griffith. Griffith looking for the half yard and absolutely snatched. Just taking it from her in defense. Dallas Trinity and up the other way. Stainbrook swirling into the final third. McAllister, or rather that Lancaster, excuse me. Stainbrook. Lexington invited forward.
Well, we're definitely seeing defensive play pick up in terms of just organization and timing. We always talk so much about patience on the offensive end. Well, that patience defensively is just as important of when do you step versus disrupting. When do you step in for that tackle? And right now we're seeing some better defensive play, especially by Dallas Trinity. It doesn't feel like Lexington's been able to have the same combinations that we saw in the first half that were able to get them deeper up the pitch. It's been a lot more around midfield and then just completely stifling any chances like Amber Wisner did on that possession previously that Dallas Trinity's been able to make those stops happen.
That'll play for a throw. Does look like Lexington are getting a change ready. Hat shirt on for Amina Ekic. If there's ever a player to deliver a spark in attack, it would likely be her. 10 goals last year for Spokane. Goes without saying that she was one of, if not the most impactful attacking piece in the entire division last year. Stay up to date. Gainbridge Super League. Sign up for the Super League newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the division delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at thegaimbridgesuperleague.com/newsletter. Driving hard, the goal scorer, Alyssa Bourgeois. Snaking away through midfield, taking on all comers. Bourgeois working wide now. Weinert in. The dummy, the tap in, the whistle. It's offside.
I had a feeling, I couldn't see the full line across, but it definitely seemed like Weinert was about a step offside. That's a great play by Lexington. What about Alyssa Bourgeois, who has been such a strong playmaker out the back for them? You look there, as soon as that initial pass was made, about a half step offside. That is the difference between this game being 2-1 versus 1-1 and that goal being able to stand.
Pretty brave and connected piece of defending. You saw some of those Dallas defenders take that half step up just before the ball was released, playing the offside trap.
And it worked. And thankfully, as you mentioned, everyone stepped on the same page. That's where you have the vocal leadership of an Amber Wisner in your back line, able to make sure everyone's staying on that same line.
Here they go again. Weinert's assessing the options. It's knocked down and pounced upon by the goalkeeper. Addie McCain was waiting on it.
And again, even with all the good opportunities we're seeing for Lexington, it does feel like Tyler McCamey and Dallas, their back unit has been a lot more organized, that the chances they are giving up are in front of them, ones that are easier for Tyler McCamey to see and save.
For another throw. How much of that comes down to communication? I know you know firsthand what Amber Wisner can offer to a backline in that regard, but it feels like this group has a really good understanding of where everybody's going to be in every possible moment as we see a couple changes being readied.
It definitely feels like they're doing a better job of communicating and being on the same page in this half. The first half, we saw some breakdowns defensively, whether in transition or even just getting caught unbalanced. So it does feel as though maybe that's something they talked about at halftime for an adjustment. It's paying dividends, and this is defensively what you need from your group to make sure you're keeping everything organized, everything in front of you, and out of dangerous spaces.
We saw Mina Ekic come in. What she offers going forward, one of those key creators, 4 assists for her on the year.
We've talked so much about these teams in terms of new faces, and that also has helped with their depth tremendously, that you have players that maybe have come in as newer additions that are now starting for you, which means the players coming off the bench are also starting caliber.
Smoothly in for Weiner, who goes headline and ricocheted out for a corner. Again, Lexington have scored a league-high 7 corner kicks throughout the course of the year. So this is danger close for Dallas Trinity, having just leveled it only a couple minutes ago by way of Lexi Misimo. That was on a set piece with Lexington. Take note and do it themselves. A couple Dallas substitutions being ready. They'll have to wait for now. It is a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner.
Daria Raji, one of those new faces for Lexington that's had to tie her shoe for a moment and is all set now.
Here it comes. It was put into a good spot just below the bar. Strong nerve defensively by Dallas Trinity. Looks like Allie Thornton and Celie Strawn were the 2 players being ready. End of the line for Bethany Boss, who had a couple of sniffs of goal, but nothing that really ever took. And Thornton comes on, plenty accomplished in her own right, scored 4 times over the course of last year against Lexington, including a hat trick in the first meeting.
So both teams now making really impressive substitutions of players in Allie Thornton and Celie Strawn, and as well as Amina Ekic for Lexington, that can help keep the tempo high, but also bring a different look into how you're attacking. Playmakers, creators that can help you as we are looking at this 1-1 scoreline to make that change in their favor.
Pair of players coming out of the Solar Soccer Academy in the Dallas region. Swan being replaced by Celie Strawn. One of the best clubs at the youth level in the country, producing plenty of pro-ready players.
It is very impressive what Celie Strawn's been able to do, and as you mentioned, just representing her club with having so much talent that's come through.
It actually will be ruled a corner. A Cornerstone Capital Bank corner kick coming. Again, it's Daria Raji over top.
Lexington continues knocking on the door with yet another corner.
The near post this time. Dealt with for the time being. Raji will go it again. Contested by Guidry. Could the break be brewing? Strawn. Bellotta, and all the way wide. Running at full gait to catch up was Guidry. Never took there.
Lexington defensively in transition there, just able to do a good job of slowly retreating, getting numbers behind the ball. Another area that Coach Kimura mentioned that they've been focusing on is transition play on both sides of the ball, wanting to just be a bit more effective and efficient. And as each pass was made, you saw them slowly closing the gap to recover.
Bourgeois searching for space in the middle for Ekic.
I hear some pups barking. You get to hear
say.
some cheers and some barking. This is the only time you want the fans barking at you, Peyton, I'll tell you that.
On the twists. And tilted past everybody.
A couple of really tough hits that we've seen for Alyssa Bourgeois. She gets stuck in on tackles and is all over the place as an outside back. That time a bit more centrally. She's back up on her feet.
Probing in the pocket, it's Ekic, causing problems straight away. Beyond the bounds of Catherine Perry.
Well, we've seen a number of players on both sides that have really had to extend themselves. Lots of long runs, 1v1 opportunities. So it's where you kind of hope those reserves, a player like Amina Ekic, can help inject some life into your group.
Sloshing tackle, but Lexington, although initially being unable to gain the ball, do grab it now.
Possession is also equaled out a little bit more as it's closer to that 50-50 right now. Lexington just valuing more possession as the half has gone on.
That's a sleek ball wide. Bourgeois meddling into the box. Not on the same page as Ekic.
This is the unfortunate part. Winnie Bellotta does a good job of intercepting that pass, reading it to win it, and then Dallas Trinity just gives it right back. As a unit, we've seen that too many times. That second pass, unable to connect it out of defensive shape.
That may stay on. Weiner does well and charged down by Guidry again. She's having a day defending in the wide side.
That's what I said, between Guidry and Bourgeois, we're seeing both teams right backs just really up and down the park, and tremendous defensive work rate that we're seeing as well. Guidry continues to read her timing perfectly to avoid giving up corner kicks too.
Lexi Missimo makes way.
This is the goal, the game-tying goal that is for Lexi Missimo. A beautiful set-piece finish right over the wall, curls it perfectly to tuck into that back into the near post, back of the net, ties this game up exactly as if you're a player yourself. Those are the types of set pieces and placement that you need to get narrowed down to a T. You practice that, and I can say from experience, over and over again. Rinse and repeat.
Chioma Ubakugu comes on, replacing her. Pretty decorated player in her own right. 16 starts on the year. Some defending to do. Bourgeois. Ekic and Bourgeois again. Instant chemistry from those two. Ekic doesn't look the least bit jet lagged coming in from Bosnia.
At all.
Back post ball headed on by Weinertz and taken wide.
Mackenzie Weinert, a player that we've seen as the game ticks on, continue to get more and more dangerous opportunities on that left side. That time off of her head, places that one near post. It does go out of the reach of Tyler McCamey, but also out of the reach of that near post. I like the decision there to head that one first time.
Dallas Trinity SC returns to the Cotton Bowl on Sunday, March 22nd, as they host Sporting Jacks. The match day will feature Girl Scouts Day, recognition of Women's History Month, and Sting Night, honoring the legendary 1984 Dallas Sting, with tickets available at DallasTrinitySC.com/tickets or by scanning the QR code on your screen.
They have Girl Scout cookies there. That could be trouble at the Cotton Bowl.
Are you speaking from personal
I am
experience?
definitely speaking
Okay.
from personal experience. Who doesn't love some good Girl Scout cookies?
We'll find out precisely which ones here at the resolution of this attack.
Oh boy, I know them by like the color of the box. It's really bad. But who reads them when you're eating them too quickly?
We're reading the play. Dallas Trinity on the far side. Guidry went down.
Guidry just kind of wiped out a little bit there. Looked like she lost her footing.
It should be said, this is a pristine playing surface.
It definitely is. I think it was more indicative of how fast she was just moving, that she kind of lost her footing there. But the tempo in general for Dallas Trinity continues to pick up. That's a great ball.
Bukuku infield. Dodged away. A second chance at it, though. And a sharp reaction to put it out of play from Pantuso.
Chioma Ubogugu, another great substitution for Dallas Trinity that brings the aggression to want to get forward. She likes to get in behind, take defenders on, makes runs out of the midfield. Now going to be setting up for this corner kick as we look at Ubogugu getting her first set piece of the game. And this is a player coming off the bench for you.
Played short on this Cornerstone Capital Bank corner kick. Ubogugu rolled in and poked home. Lauren Flynn flies in and makes it 2-1.
What a beautiful corner kick play for Dallas Trinity to take the lead. The pups are howling, the fans are cheering. Chioma Ubogugu plays this one short. I love the little heel pass there, and then off of that creativity, here comes Lauren Flynn to knock it home. First time, and you as a defender and as a keeper don't even see this one coming across until it's hitting the back of the net. There's that creativity, the playmaking, fresh legs coming in Ubogugu that can help make that happen, and Lauren Flynn that put the icing on the cake for the 2-1 lead.
Fourth assist of the year for Chioma Ubogugu. And it is 2-1 now. Lexington, after being undefeated for much of the year, a record-setting pace to start the campaign, going 16 without feeling the sting of defeat, are now staring 3 consecutive in the face.
Well, on that play, Dallas Trinity not only has the corner kick from Chioma Ubogugu, but it's Celie Strawn that I believe was the one that made that heel pass. That's 2 players off the bench bringing creativity, bringing fresh legs to help Lauren Flynn's goal even happen. So that's where you have that depth truly coming into play.
Lauren Flynn, we've not called her name very much throughout the course of the game. One of those other additions in the midseason. Coming in from the Utah Royals. Making a big impact. That's her 2nd goal of the year. Only her 5th appearance. Lexington looked like they were asserting some degree of grip on the game after the equalizer from Misimo. It all turns pear-shaped in a single moment.
Well, for Lexington, some of their key areas coming into today were the defensive sides of the game in terms of communication and late match focus, as they've given up some late goals, including that stoppage time goal to Dallas. And we see yet again in the second half just the difference. They've created a lot, but they also defensively have given up a lot, including 2 goals.
It's Amina Akic. She goes to ground, really had no other option. 2 defenders came and walled her off. Lexington throwing the numbers forward now.
Yeah, they still have a good amount of time to get an equalizer.
Oh, that's gorgeous play. Akic. Looks like the space closed a little quicker than she anticipated. Fire put out for now.
And that pass just a hair off of kind of slowing Amina Ekic down instead of playing her in stride. Those are the little details of the weight of your pass, the timing, that also can make a difference in how you're executing.
Ekic receiving softly and swerving in across, knuckle applied by McCamey. Weinert attempts to pick up the pieces, and it will be a throw-in for Lexington. This is a Dallas team that had the identity of being against the ball, sitting deep, up until the point where Nathan Thackeray came through the door. He's been trying to get them out of that, but will be useful now as they dig in and dig those trenches over the next 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is the time to get compact.
Weinert, some space. Ball stays on. Infield for Barry, set at the top of the box, shot flung in. And ultimately, it comes with little sting.
Lexington able to capitalize on that moment of just confusion as Dallas Trinity thought that ball was out of bounds. Kind of stopped and raised their hand. And these are just those late game moments that as you're chasing the game, these start to happen more and more. It slows things down. If you're Lexington, you have to minimize any sort of fouls and moments that allow Dallas Trinity, exactly as they're doing right now, to take their time, walk players up, run some seconds off the clock. Just manage this deficit as you're Lexington trying to find a way to come back.
.50 ball won by Dallas Trinity. Lancaster. She's down behind the play. Dallas continue as some substitutes are recalled to the bench by Lexington. Now things are stopped so that medical attention can be received. Just looked like a false step for Cameron Lancaster, who's been brilliant tonight for Dallas Trinity.
Yeah, Cameron Lancaster, one of those players we talk about them up and down the pitch, has been very active on that right side alongside Samar Guidry of just looking to get around the edge, creating chances for them. And this is a time where the heavy legs start to hit, some fatigue, and even just overall needing a quick moment. Even though it's March and you should be in some mid-season form, because of the amount of time in between games and all the other factors, you might not still be in that 100% game endurance that you would like.
This was the moment that Dallas went ahead 2-1. They were down 1-0 at the break. They've reversed things and done so quickly.
Again, just the creativity. It's Chioma Ubogagu connecting with Celie Shawn, connecting with Lauren Flynn, and in the back of the net for the final connection that's necessary. That's a great team goal. You practice set pieces so much, and that's 2 set-piece goals now for Dallas Trinity, which is something if you're Lexington, you're shaking your head at a bit because there could have been areas that you avoid or even just are better defensively. But it's Dallas that was able to capitalize and be more efficient on those set pieces.
Just like we've got the backs of Dallas Trinity FC, Trust and Will also has yours, helping families protect their legacy for generations. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. So would you classify that as a corner kick goal? There's a second part of this.
Do I classify it as one?
Yeah, would it count as a corner kick goal?
Absolutely.
And that's the first corner kick goal that Lexington have surrendered all year.
Ah, there it is.
And they will make 3 changes now to try and put on as much firepower as possible. Shay Moyer, Hannah White coming on, as well as Nicole Vernis, who makes her re-entry into the club. Made 12 appearances last year before being loaned out to Lazio in Italy. Recalled recently. This is her first time actually seeing the field since.
Well, we've seen the difference that the second half substitutions have made for Dallas Trinity. Lexington needing their second half changes to help spark a goal for them too. I did mention in the first half, as we see the official updates on the substitutions, that the second half things should open up. I would classify 2 second-half goals as things opening. Maybe not wide open, but a little crack open there.
The crystal ball didn't lie.
The crystal ball didn't lie.
Gotta go. Some urgency from Lexington and a great ball shaped forward for Kat Berry. They need her now. The cutback is swallowed up in the near post. McCamey had the reading of that all the way.
That play is an example of what Dallas Trinity has been doing a better job in this second half. Yes, Kat Berry still gets that ball to get it as a cross, but the pressure and way that Amber Wisner was able to force her end line cuts any angle off of making that a dangerous service. She really would have had to do a tremendous job of getting her hips around it and some pace to drive it out of the reach of Tyler McCamey.
Such an unsung part of the game, the relationship a goalkeeper has with the center backs, but more directly in understanding what spaces the center backs are taking away. How to read the remaining part of the goal.
Bingo.
Nathan Thackeray approaching what could potentially be his first victory in the Cotton Bowl. As the manager at this club already put 2 wins on the board, but none in the home confines, as a pair of changes are coming for Dallas Trinity. Day done for Winnie Bellata. She comes off. Maya McCutcheon will replace her. Started the last match. It was her first start since the turn of the calendar into 2026. They will make one more change as well. It is Sydney Cheeseman on for her debut. Rookie player out of LSU. 2 goals and 7 assists for the Bayou Bengals last year. Just signed this week, officially joining the roster only 2 days ago. Has had experience at the U23 level for the U.S. women's national team and is a bright talent put into a big spot. And put straight into the fan, flying in for the tackle and winning it. Dallas Trinity running this ball towards the corner, waiting for the board to go up for stoppage time. Strawn, the teenager, tangling with 2 defenders, and it's out for a goal kick. All told, though, job well done. Extinguishing a couple extra seconds.
Well, also, we're seeing with those substitutions, as you highlighted, Sydney Cheeseman, who was just signed on Monday, you know, some more roster moves that have been made. And that's the other part of across the league. It's a matter of who's been able to make the right moves to fill the gaps, fill the areas they need to bolster in their team. And it's chess, not checkers. It's a matter of also figuring out how they best fit with your already existing system and players. And so interested to see how Cheeseman continues to evolve in her role as a defender with this group.
Spare runner on the near flank, in by Berry. It's a throw-in on tap. With the way things are going and how teams are arming up, you're not getting better, you're getting worse in comparison to the contemporaries. Just a massive set of strides made in this early part of operation for the Super League in terms of the overall raising of the competitive level. Down at the top of the box and twirled nearly high. It was Shea Moyer unleashing from outside the area.
Shea Moyer, who just entered the match recently. You just look at how this play developed, ball bouncing to the top of the box and able to get that second chance. This was a great look for Moyer.
Would have been her 4th goal on the year, so she has a taste for the target. We applaud the instant ambition and confidence to try it, but it will give Tyler McCamey, I should say, plenty of time to extract a couple seconds out of the game as Hannah Schartz comes back on. Unused sub last game was the first time she hadn't featured in a match. Brought off the bench here again in this one. Big weapon on the long throw, if that is something that is to pass at any point in this final phase.
Lexington needing something here. Time is ticking. You're now in a stoppage time. Every play you have to take care of the ball.
Fizzing cross, knotted off course.
This is the tricky part. You're playing up-tempo, you're playing urgently, but you can't turn the ball over. You have to make sure you're still being composed and patient.
Numbers flooding forward. Cross coming. A look at goal. What a save, and stuck back in. Kat Berry saves Lexington on the road. Only 2 goals for her in the last 7 games. She comes through brilliantly in the clutch.
Wow. Talk about putting everything forward to try to tie the game up. Lexington able to drive this one top of the 6, and then how about just the ability off of the first header? Tyler McCamey makes the save here, and then here comes Kat Berry able to touch that one home off of Allison Pantuso's initial header. And that is how you, as a team, stay composed, stay relaxed, playing urgent, chasing a 2-1 deficit. Crystal ball, Peyton, you were correct. The goal scoring has definitely opened up in this second half.
And there's still time. Dallas a little bit shell-shocked. Looked like they were seeing that one out. Hadn't really surrendered a meaningful chance to Lexington, as all great strikers do, though. When the moment was cast to them, Kat Berry was not to miss at point blank.
And that was a great ball played in by Amina Ekage. And now another opportunity for Lexington.
Sharks with the long throw there. Again, 4 long throw goals for Lexington on the year. And she will get a chance again.
Wow, this game has really, when you look at the second half in comparison to the first, massive difference of the opportunities here. And this a big one for Lexington, with Sharks having another deep throw.
So you're drying the ball off and muscling in. It's nicked away. Still not fully clear. Sharks will get another chance. This is effectively a corner kick. Past the 4 minutes given. Rolled into the area once more. Cued out. This will literally be a corner kick. Referee will allow it to be taken.
Could you draw it up any crazier than this? Tied up 2 apiece after a stoppage time goal. Seconds remaining. That we get our corner kick here for a game winner opportunity.
Crazed comeback at the Cotton Bowl. Cornerstone Capital Bank. Corner kick. Late show for Lexington. Ball in without swing. Goalkeeper throwing a glove at it, and it's out of play. That probably will do it. If it is a point shared, that feels like the right result. Even opponents on the day. Inseparable at 2-2. Lexington and Dallas Trinity will have to shake on a share.
We saw the playmakers like Kat Berry step up when their team needed it most, but also the depth play out for both teams at their second half substitutions helped really make this game open up in terms of goal scoring opportunities and this 2-2 final score.
A second half showcase of the quality of 2 of the top contenders in the Gainbridge Super League winds down at 2 apiece here in Texas. We'll pick through the bones when we return. Post-game coverage coming up.
Trinity FC is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA Plus.
All the energy in action.
Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA Plus.
Join us every match,
every moment.
We'll see you on the pitch.
Work shouldn't leave you feeling stiff or sore. You deserve a happier, healthier workday. That starts with a better workspace. One where you can stand a little, move a little, and feel a lot better. Barry has everything you need for head-to-toe comfort, with standing desks, ergonomic seating, and accessories, so you can work well and live well. And right now, you can level up your space and save even more at Barry.com.
Sport is for everyone, but too often, the moment slips away. Here Sport brings live, audio-described, multilingual commentary straight to your phone. So every play, every call, and every cheer is there for everyone. Trusted by clubs and fans, simple, instant, and accessible. Here Sport, live sport.
Lexington SC avert a third straight loss on the road. It's Kat Berry who saves the day, 2-2 the final toll as they draw with Dallas Trinity. An exciting affair here in the Cotton Bowl. With Renee Washington, I'm Peyton Gallagher.
For her going back to January and gives Lexington SC the tie in a much needed point that they're able to salvage.
Kat Berry's 10th goal might be her biggest this year. For Lexington, it was a high-quality game, all 4 goals offering a distinct degree of difference in texture and type, and we saw probably a preview of potentially a playoff bout to come between two teams that will be aiming at silverware at the end of the year.
And ultimately, this one ended up even across every stat pretty much, of course, including the score. But both teams really showed well of their depth, their creativity, the playmakers they have in the 3 corners, the even possession, and the shots they were able to get on target, 5-3 in favor of Lexington SC. But as you mentioned, most importantly, with playoffs coming up, this was absolutely a good test and preview of what's to come for the postseason.
So it goes, said and done. Here in Texas, Lexington SC and Dallas Trinity FC inseparable after 90 minutes and then some. It would be Kat Berry who saved the day for Lexington and got the point for our entire fantastic Super League crew. My partner, Renee Washington. Folks, I have been Peyton Gallagher. Once more in the books at 2 apiece here in Texas. We will talk to you soon. The Gainbridge Super League season rolls on.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.